Welcome to my channel. For today's video I'm going to be talking about the history of witchcraft and witches in England. Now we're just going to jump straight into it. Between 1484 and 1750, approximately 200,000 witches were tortured, burned and hung because of the practice. That figure was just in the western area of Europe. What's interesting is that the craft wasn't an actual offence until 1563 here in England, and witches were previously quite respected within the community before the killings and the torture began. This is because they would bless livestock and would use their knowledge to heal both humans and animals of certain ailments. What deemed you a witch? It tended to be the small things which got you labelled, like owning a cat, having the stereotypical pointed nose, and even having a hairy lip. Often suspects of the craft were women, but many men also lost their lives. Around a quarter of witches were male. And of course, many of the unfortunate souls were innocent and weren't even practicing witchcraft. Why did all of this happen? Well, I think there was a rise in people fearing of a black witchcraft. In 1486, a German witch finder wrote a book discussing the craft, which became incredibly popular, specifically in Europe. In the book, he says that women are the weaker sex and are actually weaker in their Christian faith, which made them an easy target for the devil to seduce them and manipulate them. Witches were put to the test. Some of these tests included thumbscrews being burned, and even having their thumbs tied to their opposing toes and flung into rivers. If they sunk, they were innocent. If they floated, it meant that they were a witch. A man named Matthew Hopkins was a witch finder, and people often paid him to cleanse the community of witches. He had a particular test which involved a 3-inch long needle that was actually rigged. In 1612, a family of 3 generations were forced to march down the streets of Lancaster and then were all hung in front of a crowd of people. The last known execution of a witch in England was in 1682, and laws against the torture and killing of witches came to place in 1736. But black magic was still not tolerated in communities, as attacks would still happen, as furious community members would take the law into their own hands. Bringing it into the present day, and the craft is definitely still alive. Many people still practice witchcraft and are passionate about what they do. However, unfortunately, many witches are not open with their craft due to the fear of being discriminated against and judged. The journey of witchcraft still continues on, and many love to participate in the craft. It allows one to become closer with nature, Mother Earth, our minds, bodies and spirits. It embraces a natural way of life and using what the earth has to offer us, like herbs, crystals and stones, for example. This is something many of us in modern society can relate to and can also be inspired by. One thing is for sure, although witches and the craft have had a wobbly past, the belief and the practice itself is not dying out anytime soon. So that's kind of, I guess, a brief history of witchcraft here in England. I could talk for ages on this topic, but then this video would have been very long, probably hours long. And I wanted to kind of maybe get the basics in there more than anything else. If you guys are interested, I'll have some useful links which go into a little bit more detail about witchcraft and witches and the history in the description box down below, so you're more than welcome to go and check that out if you want to. What do you think of what happened to witches, and what are your thoughts on witchcraft as a whole? Is it something you practice? Is it not? Let me know in the comments section. Thank you so much for listening to this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave this video a big thumbs up. If you are new here, make sure to click on that subscribe button, and I hope to see you in my next video.